YouTube, what's up? All right, today I've got the Gearhead Works Tailhook Mod 2 and the SB Tactical SBA3. Gonna compare them. My opinion, two of the best braces on the market, similar category. So before we get started, please, if you like what you see, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel, throw a thumbs up, positive comments. And without further ado, here we go. Okay, so why these two braces? These two braces, I think, deserve to be compared together because they're the two on the market right now that telescope. What I mean by that is they have an adjustable length of pull. You can adjust them based on your body type or how you want it to interact with your arm or your cheek or whatever you do with it, right? You can adjust the length of pull. It's cool. And these are the only two right now, I believe, that do that, other than the Pdw style braces, which I don't believe belong in the same category or conversation. I'll get more into that later. But first off, let's do pros and cons for each, and then I'll talk about both of them together in the comparison. So let's start with the SBA3. So SB Tactical, SBA3, pros, what I like about it. So it's pretty tight on the receiver extension, the buffer tube. It's pretty tight on there. There's not a lot of play, which is nice. Another thing I like is obviously is telescoping, right? That's a huge factor for me. I really like the QD socket on this brace. Pretty awesome. It's great to have that right there instead of having to put a QD end plate on the back of your receivers. Let's see, pros. Those are it's great. I like the way it rests against my cheek. I like the cheek weld. It's great. It's a great brace. I like it a lot. The price is a little bit better than the Tailhook Mod 2. Let's see. I think that's about it for the pros list. Cons. Let's see. This is flexible. The bottom of this brace is flexible. I don't like that at all. So when I'm holding it, when I'm doing manipulating and stuff like that, I'm pushing. And you can see I'm flexing it over just by holding against the grip and maneuvering it around to do stuff with it. Boom, and it moves around. Plus, when it's on your arm, it's not as rigid as the other braces, because this rubber is flexible. As you can see, I can just move it around. I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. Plus, when it's here, if it bumps against your chest, it moves, flexes all over the place. Yeah, not a huge fan of the strap on here because it can get hung up on stuff or whatever. And putting it on your arm, it's pretty awkward. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's awkward to strap a brace like that to your arm and find a good firing position where you can see down the sights. It's a challenge to actually see down the sights because your body doesn't line up straight with. If you were to get it straight in front of you, you got to kind of like lean and get, because your arm is straight. Typically when you're shooting, you're going to have a little bit of angle to your arm. It's not going to be directly wrist and arm in one straight line to your shoulder socket. It's awkward. You're going to have it out in front of you and there's going to be a bend in your wrist. It's going to be a bend in your wrist between where your elbow and your wrist come straight forward to the gun. It's not exactly linear. So, therefore, when it's strapped to your arm, the gun wants to point over there. So you have to find a weird angle to kind of hold it. It's just awkward. Okay, moving on past that. Pros, it's light. I guess I forgot to say that. I think that covers the SBA3. Now let's talk about the tailhook. So pros, as a brace, it's fantastic. It's so easy. It's easy to get on. There's no straps. There's no goofing off. You just open this up, throw your arm on top, boom, and you're shooting. And you can shoot it, and it's not as awkward as any other brace because your arm's kind of off to the side. You can maintain an angle of your wrist like you would when you're shooting. So it's got that going for it. Pros, lightweight, obviously adjustable, rigid. It's rigid right here. So if I'm manipulating the firearm, I'm loading magazines, I'm clearing mags, whatever I'm doing. If I push some pressure against that by holding onto the firing grip, pistol grip, it's rigid, it doesn't move. Plus, if let's say it bumps into my chest and it's here, like it's rigid, it's a good pivot point. Like it's just a more stable platform than the other brace. Let's see, so cons. This one has a tiny bit more wobble, not distracting. I don't mind at all. A little bit of tape in between the tube and the brace would fix that up. It doesn't have the QD socket, which is only a con really because there's one on this one. So I understand what it's like to have it on there. So I just run a QD end plate and it solves that problem for me. Oh yeah, cons. There's a con for both of them, which is equal, so it is what it is. Look closely right here. You'll see, come on, focus. You'll see there's a ledge right here that I had to shave down with a utility knife. That ledge, you pull back on the charging handle stops. It butts up against that sometimes if you're not pulling like up and away and out. So you have to really focus on what you're doing, otherwise it'll hang up and you won't get another round in the battery. So, but both of them, I had to shave both of them. So, con for both. Okay, price. So the SBA3 usually runs around $115 to $120. The Tailhook Mod 2, I saw them yesterday for $124.99, but typically they're more. They're $150, $160. Gearhead Works, I think advertises them for around $200. So, depending how much you can find it for, price advantage goes to the SB Tactical SBA3. Now, which one do I like better? I like the Tailhook. So the fact that the Tailhook is rigid at the bottom is the winning factor for me. So if I didn't have this one already, let's say I just picked up the SBA3 and I didn't know the difference and I learned to deal with the malleability at the bottom of this brace, I'd be fine with it. I'm sure I could deal with that, no problem. It's not a huge deal, right? Is what it is. But the fact that I already have the Tailhook and I know that I like a rigid interface at the bottom of the brace, like I guess I'm spoiled by it and I can't go back. So it is what it is. I'll pay the extra money for Tailhook Mod 2 because I like how rigid the brace is. And as a pistol brace, frankly, there's nothing that can touch this one because of the ergonomics of it. The way it lines up with your hand and it's just, it works really well. So yeah, like I said, I like them both. They're both cool. I'm not going to sell the SBA3 yet. I'm going to keep it because I got another lower. So yeah, but I choose the Tailhook Mod 2. In fact, I ordered one for $124.99 yesterday to put on that 12-inch Grendel build. Oh yeah, I promised I'd talk about why I don't think the Pdw braces belong in this conversation. So, in my opinion, obviously, Pdw guys are going to get mad. So, I'm going to give you a chance to stop the video right now. Don't forget to subscribe and like before you go. All right, Pdw braces. The idea behind a Pdw stock is they're like this long, right? When they're all the way in, they only add like 2 inches to the back of your gun, and you can extend it out and you get a full length of pull with it. Sweet. But the braces, from what I've seen, don't go that short. They go to about right here. So you lose like a ½ inch of length but the things you gain are added weight an inferior cheek weld, less adjustability in the length of pull. They typically have less spots. They're harder to adjust. There's an awkward moment where you got to like flip this lever, like pull out. Some of them you can just pull all the way out and they go all the way out, which also I'm not crazy about. I might want it in between. So just for my personal taste, I'm not, all those things, I like this style of brace better. Plus, the big one for me with the Pdw braces, the real reason I probably don't have one already. Because let's be real, they look cool. They're cool looking braces, man. They make your gun look boss. So I always look at them, I always want them, but then I pick one up and I realize that the way I run carbine is I stay above fire control with my thumb like this, above the selector, and when I'm ready to fire, I sweep to safety and engage, right? So with a Pdw brace, they have bars that sit right here, and the bars preclude me from keeping my thumb above the safety selector. I like have to squeeze my thumb in between that bar and the safety lever just to sweep it off. And there's a possibility, let's say you got gloves on or you miss, your hands are sweaty or bloody, you could miss it and end up not being able to take the safety off. So for me, I can't get with them. A lot of people love them. Like I said, they look sweet. I want one just because it looks, but practicality takes over and I don't get them. So that's my thoughts on them. And that's why I roll with the Tailhook mod too. I guess that's it. If you got any questions, post them in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, leave thumbs up, positive comments, and thanks for watching. Have a nice day.